Okay, welcome everybody. Morning. Good to see you all. I was just going to ask about the February challenge. Um, since we got through the January challenge, maybe you have a goal or objective for February you want to bring into your awareness this morning. Okay, looks like everything is set up on my end. Just step back here, make sure, yep, we can see the mat. We can see up here. So welcome Pilates and Strength this morning. Going to do some good work for the whole body and get in some of that Pilates and all that good stuff. We'll see where our theme takes us today. I'm not sure where it's going to go. I just know that we're going to have a really good workout. So make sure your weights are nearby, a chair or something that you can stabilize yourself with, because we are going to be doing some balance things. So yeah, take action to make sure you have those things, and let's get started. So I wanted to start out on the feet today and we'll do a little bit of footwork as well. And again, that chair or I've got a mantle or a wall nearby might be nice. But for this first one, just finding your feet hip distance apart, not too far apart, but not too close together. And just take a nice, easy step forward. And today we're going to keep our legs fairly straight. Doesn't mean you have to be super straight with that front leg. But make sure your heels, if you can, are in line with your foot. So a lot of times our back heel likes to turn in. We may have a propensity to turn our foot out even when we walk. And we're trying to work with the gait a little bit with this exercise. So front leg is going to stay a little straighter today. And we're going to work with the foot back there, lifting the heel, coming onto the ball of the foot. So, and again, the gold nugget in our practice isn't so much about all of the exercises we do, but how we do them, like how present we can be when we do them. So let's drop into your body, drop into that foot back there, like really be in the foot and feel your weight transfer, back foot, front foot, back foot, or even, but I can feel a lot more weight when I put that heel down back there than I can in the front. So you're really transferring the weight. Come forward, let's pause here, and then let's bend the front knee a little bit and straighten. Bend the front knee, it doesn't have to be very much. Back heel is up. Little bend. See if you can keep that back leg straight. Mine wants to bend back there, but you feel a nice little tug in the front of the body. That might be your experience as well. And then just grounding with the feet. Let the head come up, looking out even with the eyes. Good. And then keep that front knee bent. Again, not really bending very much here. And I'm going to try to reach my heel back. I'm not going to be able to make it to the floor like I was earlier. I'm just going to take a nice deep breath here. If you'd like, you can bring your hands to heart center or keep your hands on the wall or on the chair back. And in a moment, I'm going to step forward and I'm going to resist kind of shaking my legs out. I'm going to step forward and stand and feel both feet. Let your hands come down the legs. Just noticing. So we may get into this area again later. We'll work with that a little bit. We're doing this check-in, at a very early stage. So let's take our step forward on the other side. Working with that grounding feeling, the foot back there. And then I'm going to straighten that front leg. A lot of times I'll teach this bent knee. and we're working a little bit differently. So today is just exploring in a different way, transferring the weight, maybe bring my head up so that I'm able to look straight out if I need to, my hands on something. Lifting the heel, transferring the weight. Sometimes we're looking for a bigger sense, a bigger sensation in the body to feel like we're doing something. I'm going to guarantee you're doing something. So let your mind rest with, I am doing something. I'm going to transfer my weight. I'm going to feel my feet. And I'm going to look for a little bit more subtle indication of what I'm doing. So you might feel that deep down little tug. That's probably the psoas or your core in there. Getting a little tug in there. So we're going to take that weight forward, pause, and we did straight leg in the back, little bend in the front knee. Again, might have a real urge to bend the back knee. Let's resist that for the moment. Back heel can come down, but no bend of the back leg. And I'm not able to reach the floor with that heel anymore. I'm going to keep the front knee forward and then reach the heel back. Front knee forward, back heel back. Pelvis has stayed where it was. I'm not taking my spine forward. Take the hands to heart center. Front knee forward, back knee reaching back. Gold nugget of the practice, awareness. And then straightening the legs, and then we're going to step forward again and just check in. See if you can avoid pedaling the feet, shaking it out. Sometimes I'll do that, and sometimes I want to settle in. Can't observe when I'm moving too much. All right, so go ahead and come away from that. And this might be a nice spot if you haven't needed your chair. You might need it now, just something to hang on to. So I'm going to turn this direction. Got the sunlight coming in today. It's so lovely to have the sun. So I'm going to have to make sure I get out there. Take that foot out front. Step back just so that my foot is in your view here. And I'm going to reach through the front of the foot and lower. So let's find the ball of the foot and lower the heel. Lift and lower, lift and lower, lift and lower. So on the side, it's going to look like this. Lift, lower, ball of the foot nice and spread out. Good. And then lift the whole foot up. Let's reach through the toes, heel, toe, heel, toe, heel. Circle. Circle around. Those of you that are in places where there's lots of snow and ice, you're wearing boots and you are kind of guarding. First of all, the boots generally don't let you move your foot very well. They're a little more rigid, especially on the bottoms. So this is really nice stuff year round, but I really like it in the winter. Move those ankles, move the lower leg, get any stiffness out of there. Circle both directions, good. And then bring that foot down. Other foot comes out, spreading the toes, and we took the heel down and up, down and up. And I want to have that contact of the ball of the foot and the toes. And I'm going to relax my face and really settle my attention down into the foot. Good. And then we lifted up and we did toe, heel, toe, heel, toe, heel. Relax the forehead, circles. See if you can be really aware of your circles here. So again, we can kind of go on autopilot, right? and just start circling. I'm circling. Be present with your circles. Really big. Go the other direction. See how far you can go around, reaching with the big toe, reaching with the pinky toe, all the toes in between, reaching around in that circle. Yeah, there's more to be had. Good. All right, and then bring the foot back down. Going to side A, back to the first side. I'm going to turn to the side again so you can see. I'm going to put my heel down this time, and I'm going to curl my foot over as though I were doing kind of a spine rounding, a roll down with my foot. So I'm going to see if I can come up and roll forward. Yeah. And reaching the toes down toward the floor, but kind of keeping that the center of the arch of the foot away. Let's try it on the other side. Heel is down, curling. I'm just doing sometimes I'll do hand and finger work. And we're working with the foot and our dexterity, being able to do different things. Now, curling the toes might be familiar to you. Even in your standing posture, you may do it without thinking. Here we're purposely curling and trying to keep that arch up. Harder on one side. Go figure. All right, come back to your feet. Very nice. Bring the heels together. A little more familiarity, Pilates V here. Now we're going to only lift a little bit, 30% here. 30% lift of the heels, spreading the toes. Good. And then let's bend and straighten. And again, may not bend as much as I can right away. Let's check it out. Now, if it feels better for you to have heels down to start, you're welcome to do that. My heels up and connected. Good. And then bring the heels down and wiggle the toes out. So balls of the feet nice and spread out. Check in with the forehead. Your awareness is still here. Let's lift and lower the heels. Lift and lower. If they can, heels stay together. And it's not that you have to come up as high as you can again. We can do that 30% lift. Maybe it's a 50%. In all reality, you probably couldn't go another 70% with your lifts. Good. Feeling anything engage here as you continue to go, as the heels stay together. Good. And then bend the knees. Lift the heels. Straighten and down. Bend. Lift. Straighten and down. Bend. Lift. Straighten. Down. Bend. Lift. Straighten. Down. Nicely done. Go ahead and take the feet away. Okay, I'd like to take a moment to come down to the floor. So let's use a roll down to come to that. And come to the center of your space. Let the head come forward. Feet underneath you, sensing that solidity we've cultivated. Head forward. Belly pulling in. Knees have some bend. And then letting the weight of the head get heavy. The shoulders. Maybe taking a nice breath in here. We really can take advantage of the breath going into the back. And then finding your way to the floor. So maybe you give yourself a little challenge here as you come forward. The heels probably come up. You could also see if you could stay in your squat with the heels down. There's lots of good work in there. But eventually, everybody coming back onto your back. And let's do a little work for that part of the body that we started out in this morning with the front of the hips. We did a little kind of very internal, at least that's how it felt to me. You might have felt it external, stretch of some core muscles with that psoas walk. So I'm going to take the shoulder blades in a little bit, and then let's take both knees up, and let's drop the shins. And just notice the belly, lowest part of your belly helping you out here. And then let the knees come away from you and tap the toes and come back in. Tap the toes and come back in. Tapping and back in. Tap and back in. If you'd like a little more challenge, lift the shins. Now you've got to go a little further away. The knees are moving. Thigh bones moving away from you and back in. Thigh bones moving away. Belly working. Good. And bring everything in and relax the back and the belly. Relax the shoulders. Good. I'm going to bring my knees back to that over the hip position. Let's take one leg up. You can kind of check out how that feels, toe, heel, toe. We've worked with the lower leg. Now it'll come into your upper leg a little bit, especially in the back. Good. Let's take that long leg. If you want to, the other side can come down. Foot can come down to the floor. And we're going to slowly lower here. Your leg does not have to be straight. In fact, I encourage those of you that can be really straight with your leg to give it a little bit of bend. And we're going to just slowly lower. I'm not even going all the way to the floor. Again, the golden nugget is in my awareness. If I check out going to end range, I'm not quite getting as much as I could out of the practice. So I'm stopping short of coming all the way down, noticing what I'm using to do this lifting, and then I'm going to bring that leg back. Let's try the other side. So again, this foot could come down if you'd like. It's a little more challenging, I think, with the knee up. You don't have to have more challenge. And then I'm going to take that fairly straight leg downward and back up. Down and coming up. Trying to keep the same cadence down as I do coming up. Awareness of the hip joint. Awareness of what muscles are helping me do this. And then bring that knee in, and you can bring both legs in. Very nice. So let's take ourselves upward. We can take a little mini crunch on the way up, hands behind the legs. Pulling those ribs down and in, taking the knees right over the hips. And if you're pulling hard with your hands, letting go a little bit of that so that your belly starts to work. We really can encourage that happening here. Finding, in this particular instance, we do want to kind of have that sensation, right? That we found the place to work. And then I'm going to use my legs to find my way up. Or if that doesn't work for you, find your way up using your hands. And we're going to come into Pilates C. Coming back behind the sitting bones. Arms there behind the legs. Let's go ahead and let's take the feet just not quite as far apart as they were for our standing pose earlier. Just about hip distance. That's about perfect. Let's lift one heel up, just like we did in standing. We kept the ball of the foot nice and broad and lifted the heel. Other side. ball of the foot, lift the heel, lift the heel, lift the heel. And then look for, if this seems very simple or easy, look for where the body is helping you. Look for some softness in the face. Lift both heels and down. Just the heels, keeping the toes on the mat, balls of the feet. Good. And then let's come forward and relax the belly. Relax the jaw. Maybe even take the vision upward a little bit. If you're feeling a little tired, you could take your vision upward toward the eyebrows, looking up toward the ceiling, and then let it come back. Okay, I'm going to do some similar things. This time, hands are going to come alongside the body, so you have a little less support. If you want, you can always come back to bringing the hands behind the legs. So palms at the side body, and you want to make some contact there, just like we've been doing with the toes and the balls of the feet. The fingers and the pads of the hand are going to make some contact. It's almost like I'm pushing myself away a little bit from the mat to make that contact. Belly pulling in, Pilates C. And then let's lift one leg up and back down. Lift the other and back down. Lift and down. Lift and down. Lift and down. This time, lift and down. Let's try stretching out a little bit and down. Stretching out and down. I'm just taking that leg, whatever angle feels good for you. One more on each side. And then go ahead and come up again and relax the belly. Maybe looking up. Good. One more. So you could come back to the elbows to work with this, or perhaps stay on the hands and find a comfortable position for the hands to hold you back here. Maybe that's outward with the fingertips. Maybe that's backwards. Maybe it's a little bit of bend and the fingertips are toward you. So find a spot that feels okay for your shoulders, whatever the weight is, and then find your Pilates C. So we've been doing that, pull the belly back, right? And having a nice round spine with the head extending. And we're going to work with the legs a little bit closer to the foot, hovering, or closer to the floor, hovering the foot. And we'll do our heel, toe, toe, heel, toe, come back. Toe, heel, toe, come back. You can slide along the floor. You can hover that leg. Want more challenge? You can try both legs. On the mat. Or hovering. Ooh, that's very challenging. Whew, isn't it? Yeah, when I start to lift the legs, it gets to be challenging. Come on and come forward. Good. All right. We're going to come back up to our feet, and we're going to want your chair nearby. You're going to want your weights. So go ahead and grab them. Grab them so they're nearby. We're going to start out without the weights in our hands, but very, very soon going to have them we're going to be using those. So let's take the hands out in front, warming up the arms a little bit more. Pull back and push. Pull back and push. See how things are going in your shoulders today. Right shoulder, left shoulder. settling into the feet. Push. We don't have a lot to push against. A couple weeks ago we did push-ups though, and this is where we wanted to kind of start things out. This is that push-up movement. Will we get push-ups today? I don't know. I'm going to do some other stuff, so maybe. And then drop that. Good. Let's take the weights overhead. So go ahead and pick them up, because this is a great one to have your weights for. Take them overhead and down, overhead. Keeping those shoulders strong means we have to work kind of all the directions that our arms can move, which is a lot, isn't it? Shoulders have an underside, they have the arms side, they have kind of a back and front, and they have a top. So here we are working with that top portion. 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Bring those down. Let's take the feet apart, toes out a little bit. And let's take those weights center and just check out your wide squat. Not as deeply as you can yet. Just see how it feels. Make sure you don't mistake your torso coming forward for lowering your pelvis. So just think about lowering your tail, lowering the tail, and then in that process, knees, ankles, hips. Still feel the feet. Good. Bring the feet underneath you. Looking up for a moment. And then taking your head forward. Taking that vision downward. Bringing the belly in, ribs coming in, belly coming in. Rolling down. Letting the weights, if they're still in your hands, you can always put them down. Give a little tug on the shoulders. So don't let them come to the floor too quickly. Just see how that feels for you. Then let them come down. Bend your knees. No pull on the arms. Yesterday's movement lab was about neck and shoulders. So we worked a little bit with how to release any of that tension in there. Coming all the way up. Good. I'm going to bring my weights to center here. I might be doing some different things with them as we go, but you can make that decision as we continue. So I'm going to start in the center with my feet. I'm going to take big step to one side, squat, and step back. Big step, squat, and back. Big step, and back, and back. Tap or land with that foot. And again, when we start moving a little bit quicker, it can be easy to check out. So feel the foot. Soften the face. Feel the weights in your hands. Good. Come to center. Let's do the other side. Step, center, step, center. Feel the foot land. See if you can land softly with that foot. Land softly. Land softly. It's kind of like when someone taught me how to catch a ball. If we can move with the ball a little bit, it doesn't, hurt as much when that softball hits your hands. A little bit. Softly. And feeling the foot land. 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 2 more. Good. Come to center. Nicely done. All right. Let's do some biceps here. Giving yourself as much time as you need. A little bit of cardio in there. And then going right into your bicep curls. Feeling the feet. Good. 3, 2, 1. And allow those to come down. Good. Feet kind of medium distance here, not quite as big as my sumo. I'm going to let these weights come down in the center. See about bringing my hips down, down, down. We worked on squats last week. I'm going to take them a little bit slowly. Good. Really squeeze up on the legs. Squeezing the muscles to the bones. And feeling your feet to help push you back up. Good. We're going to do some pulses down at the bottom. Come down. Do a little bit of a bounce. Your weights could come up if you'd like. They can stay down. Push up. Come down. Little pulses. Up. One more time. Come down. And coming up. Good. Let's take our weights. Coming forward. Seat back behind us. Little softness in the legs here, supported by the legs. And then drawing up, elbows along the side body here. And pressing back. Tricep work here. Reminder of our golden nugget awareness. Staying in the body, in the practice. Maybe you're noticing your perceived effort, your heart rate, your breathing. Maybe you're getting dewy, a little sweaty. Notice if there's any ideas, concerns, thoughts about that evidence of exercise coming back up. Maybe it bothers you none. Maybe you're feeling like, great, that's awesome. I'm so glad I'm sweating. Just noticing what kind of ideas you have about those things. Okay, I would like to work a little bit with some alternating lunges. I'm going to put one weight down. I may be able to gather them up, or you may feel like you can do this without any assistance. I'm going to stand behind my chair here, or if I had my hand at the wall, that would be fine. I'm going to take one foot back, lunge, and step forward. Let's do the same side a few times. Lunge and forward. Lunge and forward. So you definitely could do this with weights if you'd like on both sides. But if you have one hand at the wall or on a chair, just makes more sense to have one. Good. And then step forward. Let's try the other side. Step back. And again, foot lands, come back. Foot finds the floor, come back. The toes ball at the foot, come back. Last two. Last one. Good. I'm going to put that weight down. If you have lighter weights, go ahead and grab them and take the arms up here. We're going to open, get nice and open. As long as you're not pinching in the back body, you get this nice opening through the armpits and collarbones. And then take the hands together and open. Together and open. Good. Good. 5, 4, because I don't have any weights, 3, if you've got weights, you might be cooked, and 1, and then dropping the arms. Good. Shake it out. All right. Let's take that. I'm going to take this at a little bit of an angle here just so I have room behind me. We took the foot back last time, did a lunge. This time we're going to do a little swing. So sometimes it's nice to swing if your other foot is on a block, but hopefully you can find a way to clear the floor here. And then lifting the gaze, softening the forehead. Bring the leg up to pause in the front. Now watch to see that you're not tucking everything to lift your leg. See if you can remain upright and lift the leg at the hip. Take the leg back, take it straight back, and then look underneath, especially if you're hanging on to something. Can your toes point the floor? Knee points to the floor. Come back in, lift, but don't tuck under, and take that back. Lift, and under or back, lift, look up, back, look toward the floor, lift, back. You can pause here. You can also, if you've been doing this without any support, there's lots of good work happening, even a lot more of it when I don't have too much weight on that chair. 3, 2, 1. Bring that leg back. So we get work for this side, but a lot for the standing leg. So if you are using a little bit of support here, totally great, but make it as the least amount possible. So a fingertip, a couple fingertips hanging onto that chair. And then let's swing on this side. Swing, swing. Torso could move if you want to swing back more, because we can only go so far. And then taking that leg up in front. Knee is up. Watch to make sure you're not tucking the pelvis and everything. Not for this one. Work that strength of the hip flexors. Take the leg back. Take a look. Toes toward the floor. Knee toward the floor. Really strong. Coming back up and back behind you. Up, look up. Back behind you toward the floor. See if you can take your finger away. Look up. Look down. Oh, lost my balance at the end there. Go ahead and bring the feet down. Very nice. Okay, getting through a lot of good movement here. I'm going to grab my weights again. And I'm going to take that kind of that step we had earlier today. Right at the beginning, we did psoas walk. Remember how our feet weren't that far apart? And we were in a pretty good heel behind the toe situation. We're going to keep our knees soft, but not give it a lot of bend for this. So we could, there's a couple ways to move here. We could bend our knees a lot and lower the pelvis, or we can keep the pelvis fairly steady, take the torso over and come back up. So a little bend in the knees, that's just great. Coming forward, my chair is a little bit in my way for my head. Forward and up. Forward and up. Good. Step the feet together. You can step forward or step back with the other side. Little softness in the knee, but I'm not lowering the hips. That would be a different way to work here. Keep the hips pretty much where they are. Core, our back legs really have to work here. And feel the feet again. Look down. Look up. Look down. Look up. Look down. And up. Feel the feet. Maybe you can feel the texture of the floor underneath you, the mat, or the carpet, whatever you're on. Last one. Stepping forward. Good. Nicely done. So last week, I think one of the last weeks, I'm going to grab my elastic just to show that again. For the rows, I don't have a really good pull for the rows. My weights, they're great. I can do a lot of easy reps with them. So I can do many reps to make it worth my while. Or I can grab my elastic. So either way here, we're going to do that row and I'm going to give myself a little more to pull on. So my rows may be 10 count. If you have lighter weight, head toward doubling that 15 or 20 rows if you've got lighter weights, because your upper back and arm can likely do that. So I'm bending forward. If I had both my weights, I could pull at the back here. This elastic is pretty strong. So yeah, even here I can step on both. It's long enough. And I feel like I'm pulling a little bit more than with my weights for sure. So I'm going to do 5 more with the heavier weights. And then I'm going to let myself come upward. Good. Lifting the gaze once more. Taking the head forward, rolling down. Maybe I even want to take that roll down, let my body go to one side. Let your knees have softness here. Let your hips do what feels okay. Take your body to the other side. Coming back to center. And then coming down to the floor again. since I have my elastic here, but if not, you can use your hands out in front like so. Since I have an elastic, I'm going to use it. So the feet are where I want you to rest your attention. You're going to want to rest your attention with your hands or your upper body. Let your feet be in your awareness again. Now, we don't have a lot of contact for them, but I want you to notice if you're shifting, like pedaling the toes or shifting the heels themselves. We're going to take the elastic up or use your hands, palms facing one another is just fine. And we're going to take that on a little twist. Center, twist, center. Legs aren't moving, so if they're a little uncomfortable, you can always have them heels coming in and the knees lifted. Center, center. Side, little pulse, center. And bring the arms down. Go ahead and fold forward if that feels good for you. Taking a breath in. And go ahead and use this opportunity as a roll down. Maybe the legs are extended, arms are out in front, rolling back. And if that felt really nice, maybe you want to roll up as well, grabbing onto the backs of the legs to help you up, forward, and back down one more time. Promise no more surprises. It just felt so nice to roll the back out and then come onto the back. Bring the hands down. Crawl the feet in, feet on the floor, knees bent. And then let's take one leg across, passing by the ankle. So when your leg finds the other leg, you're just past the ankle. Notice what's happening in the back as you already prepare probably to take your knee and push it away. You're either wanting to push it away with your hands, you may know where we're going. Take your bottom leg a little closer to you. And then notice as you push your knee away, if your whole hip is going with you. If that whole, the pelvic crest is going with you. And just maybe do that. Notice how that feels. Okay, took my knee away, pelvic crest is going with it. But my other side of my back, low back is lifted too. So I'm going to now see if I can keep my low back on the floor, push the knee away. So one side knee is pushing away, opposite side low back, can that stay on the floor? And if you'd like, keeping all those things together, you could lift that lower leg, keeping the knee pressing away. The low back will be easier to stay on the floor maybe if you lift. Soften the forehead. Breath here. Bring the foot down. Let this leg cross, like you've just crossed your legs sitting on the couch. Bring that leg in again. And if you'd like to hug it, you could. And then let the legs come down. We're going to switch sides. Again, crossing past the ankle. Maybe doing the wrong thing, quote unquote wrong thing, doing a different thing where the knee pulls the hip, pulls the pelvic crest down on that side, and notice how opposite side low back is lifted up. Then come back to bringing the low back both sides to the floor. Push that knee away. Keep the low back on the floor. Maybe the bottom leg comes up. Maybe it stays on the floor. The whole time it's an active stretch. With the strength of your own leg, your knee is reaching outward, away from that pelvic crest, but the low back is staying. Good. Foot comes back down if it was up. Take the whole leg across, like you've crossed your legs. Bring the bottom leg in. You can hug this one. This one's a little more passive. I'm not working too much here. If I were to work, it would be maybe squeezing my legs together. Pushing, still pushing that knee kind of outward, top knee. One more breath. Bring the legs back to the floor and then uncross them. Bring the legs in together but uncrossed. One more breath. Full breath out. Normal breathing. And then as you're ready, roll to your side. Push yourself up and come up to seated. Finished. So if you have a good name or theme for this practice, go ahead and put it in the chat before you leave today, because I need to put it in the video library. I have a couple of ideas, but welcome any of your ideas. Hope you had a really good practice, and I look forward to seeing you again next week. Happy February. Make sure to put your goals and your practices on your calendar to help remind you. I know I need those reminders too, where I'm going, what day, and how I'm keeping a nice varied practice. So cardio, strength, a little bit of Pilates, maybe a lot of Pilates. So talk to you again soon. Thanks so much. Thank you, everybody. Good to see you. Thanks, Chris. You too. Have a good day. Miss seeing you, but I'm glad you're here.